Hello and welcome to the Knit Sip Happy podcast. My name is Nancy and I'm coming to you today from Moncton, New Brunswick on the east coast of Canada. Feels like it's been a while since I've done this, but it hasn't really been that long. It's a beautiful sunny day today. I'm sitting in a different location, but I'm drinking red because it was open and it's just one of those days. All right, where you can find me. You can find me, I'll put a screen up. Where are we going? Which side? Looks like this side has more room. I'll put a screen up with where you can find me. I am Knit Sip Happy everywhere. And all of the links for everything that I talk about will be down in the description box. So if you go down below, click more, you should be able to see a full list of the show notes. I also have chapters included if there's anything you want to skip along. This is a bit of a spur of the moment decision to do this today. It is a Tuesday. I am off today. It is my birthday eve. I've stolen that from Allie, Little Drops of Wonderful, This Little Wonderful Life on YouTube. I'm sure you already watch Allie. But yes, it's my birthday tomorrow. Things have gone completely tits up and not in a good way. And we'll talk about that later. So first thing, I'm going to stand up because my first finished object is also what I'm wearing. And I'm going to kind of give you a little tour around it and then we'll talk details. We're in a different location today because my craft room is an absolute tip and it was easier for me to bring everything out to the living room to record than it was to do it in my craft room. And the lighting was really good out here today. I'm in front of the big picture window. I'm home alone. Brad is at work. Yeah, we're going to talk all about that later on. But I'm going to keep talking about it now apparently. No, I'm not. I'm going to stand up and show you my salty air tea. So I finished my salty air tea. I can't back up, so I'm going to have to back you up. I apologize. There we are. So the color is washing out. It is not looking good at all on the screen, but you've seen this before. I modified this, of course I did. Salty Air Tea by Samantha Guerin. I'm sure you've seen it. It's a summer t-shirt, lacy yoke. I have lengthened the body quite considerably and quite possibly too much. I cast on the size 4 for the neckline. I did the alternating cable cast on that's written in the pattern. Thank you to Kelly and Noelle from the Knits and Pieces Knit Chat Cafe. This is my new favorite cast on. I did extra short rows on the back to hopefully bring this neckline in a little bit. It has stretched. It does feel a little big. I may have to address that later, but I'm going to wear it a little bit. This is only the second time I'm wearing it. When I divided for the yoke, when I split for sleeves, I put more stitches on the front than the back. So my back lays flat. There's no rippling there. And I've also got enough room for my boobs. When I split for the sleeves, I also put a stitch marker on each side here to show the side of the body. And when I got to just past my fullest bust measurement, I started doing A-line increases. So every inch I did increases all the way down the side to give me that flow, which helps my pear shape. So I'm going to pull you back towards me and sit down again, and I'll look at my notes and see if there's anything else I've forgotten to tell you. I apologize for this. Let's get you back. Hi, how you doing? Okay. I have done 2 mini-sodes since I was here last, and a lot has happened since I was here last. So I have a little friend, right over there. Can you see her? My little felted mouse that I got at Fiddlehead Fiber Festival. Back to salty air. Rabbit. I'm just looking, I pulled up my, my Ravelry project page to see what I did. I think I told you everything. I've lengthened the body, I said, quite a bit. We left for Fiddlehead Fiber Festival on Friday the 12th of April in the morning. I pulled this off the blocking mats at Friday morning at about 7:30 a.m. So I was rushing to get it finished. I wanted it as a booth sample for Deborah Yarn Indulgences. This is using her silken linen blend in the colorway Coral. This is a better color that you're seeing now. I had 2 skeins of it. You get 490 yards and 115 meters of this yarn. And I still have 23 grams left of the second skein. And I said, I may shorten up the body. I'm going to have to wear it for a little bit. Like I said, this is only the second time it's been on my body. So it was ready for Fiddlehead Fiber Festival. It was hanging on the booth until I got too warm on the Saturday, right before I started teaching my class that I was doing a sock heel clinic at the Fiddlehead Fiber Festival. I had a wardrobe change, took my Zweig off and put this on because it was warm and I was worried about flop, nervous sweats talking to people. So Salty Air Tea, this is my second. My first one was super cropped. This one is now maybe super long. We shall see. But overall, really loving the feel of this yarn, and it'll be a great wear for over the summer months. I said it's sunny out, but it is still quite cool here in my part of the world. Let me just put this down. As I said, this is spur of the moment. I'm alone and I had the energy to do it, so I thought I would come and have a chat. And I said, plus I'm feeling a bit wah-wah about the next couple of days. So chatting to you guys give me a boost. So I also finished, last time I was here for a full podcast, I was showing you some shorties that I was knitting for my son's girlfriend, Cassandra. So I finished the second pair. I'll put a picture in here because I gifted those. Actually, I think this side's going to be better. Here, I gifted those to her on Eclipse Day. Was that the 8th of April? I think that was the 8th of April. They came out and had dinner with us. We watched. We were in the path of totality. We had about a minute of totality, and it was amazing. I could have done with more time to just take it all in. Yeah, it was a great day. Great day. And I gifted Cass her socks, and she loved them. It was the first time I'd done shorties for her, and she said how much she liked them. So that's a win. I'm going to apologize because I can hear myself saying things I know I've said before. I said I've done 2 mini-sodes since my last full episode. The first one was to do the announce knit-along winners, and to talk about the Tittygaga sock pattern that it had come out. And then the second mini-sode that I did was Fiddlehead Fiber Festival and telling you how much money we made from Tittygaga. So some of those things I will be touching on as we go through, but I'll also have put buttons or links for those videos if you wanted to go back. Not a lot of people watch the mini-sodes, so I apologize if you've heard some of this before, and a bit of duplication, but in the full episode I'm going to talk about everything. Okay. So those socks were finished even though I don't have them. And the last FO that I have that you hadn't even seen before as a whip is this Bolton Pass hat. This is a free pattern from Espace Tricot. It's knit in DK yarn. It's blowing out a little bit. Again, we've got some bright light coming in the window. So I did the size medium, but I shortened the length of the body. I did the decreases as written. I mean, I'm not sure about it because the one of the 4 seams comes right down the front. It's still, is it damp or just cool? I finished this a day and a half ago and got it blocking. I may live to regret this decision, but let's do this. So this is going to be for me because of the color. Of course it is. I got it. I don't even have it straightened now. My hair is really going wonky. Okay, you got the idea. It's a bit, you know, as written, it's much slouchier. I shortened the body quite a bit on this. This was our group cast on at the winter gathering back in February in Sussex that we had. I was one of the organizers for it, and we had a group cast on, and I didn't even get to cast on. I was so busy. So I wanted to make sure I needed something, I needed a quick, easy palette cleansery kind of project. And this was what I decided to cast on, because next time we get together and have a gathering, we're all going to wear these hats or bring these hats with us and have some group pictures, which we thought would be fun. That's it for finished objects. Knitting time has been a little bit lighter than usual for me because of life, and we'll talk about that later. Also getting ready for that sock heel clinic, the class that I taught at Fiddlehead Fiber Festival, what, a week and a half ago? Took a lot more time than I expected, but it went really well. I just sent out surveys to the people who were in my class and asked them for some feedback, because I just had some great news. I'm going to be teaching this sock heel clinic at the Woolstock East show that is in New Glasgow, Nova Scotia this year, that's run by Sisterhood Fiber. Sisterhood Fibers? I'll put it on the screen if I'm wrong. Faith messaged me and said that they had accepted my application to teach, so that's exciting. Let's go on to whips. Whips. And I can't remember if I showed you this project last time. I'm holding this in a little leather tote from Dodo Leather Crafts. They are a local to me maker. And I was working on, and again, I think I have showed this, but I can't remember. This is the end of my Freckled Whimsy Advent sock skein that I knit up a pair for myself in December. I had leftovers, so I cast on Toe Up. I'm learning. Toe Up, this is a pair of shorter socks for my daughter. I've used some Knit Picks Stroll for the toe, and the color is Tranquil. And I'm using my Bouctouche Boardwalk pattern and just doing the purl bump row at the color change. So this is my homage to my favorite boardwalk, Bouctouche Boardwalk out of the dunes. And this was the contrast color that came with the Freckled Whimsy sock set, the brown. So I had 2-part skeins that I had subdivided, and I just knit as far as the first one went, and I'm doing a matching. So I've just passed the heel, and I've got 2 more stripes, and then I will be good to do the cuff, cast off, and tuck these away. These will be for Sam for Christmas, birthday, a general pick-me-up. So I did a Fish Lips Kiss heel, short row heel, so I didn't disturb the stripes. But what I did on the first row of the heel was I increased 4 stitches evenly across. So instead of 32 stitches on that back needle, I had 36, and then I did the Fish Lips Kiss heel according to 36 stitches, which makes the heel quite a bit deeper. And then I decreased those stitches down and just a bit of a mini gusset right here. So I got back down to 32 stitches. I pick up an extra stitch in the corner just to close up that hole that we always get. And yeah, this has been a really fun, I was working on these at Fiddlehead, I think, or on the drive up. Deborah drove, which was nice. I was just the passenger. So this is almost finished. I do not have a lot of active whips on my needles right now, and I'm feeling the need to start doing some new things. Oh, this was the Bolt and Pass. This was the leftovers. This is a DK, an old base of Deborah's, a DK yarn. So that's what's in this project bag. I haven't emptied it out yet. Oh, this is another old project bag. This is the Mishnah, but this is the leftover of the silk and linen that I had left. I have to re-cake that up and clean out this project bag and put it away. As I said, my craft room is an absolute tip. The only other whip, really, active whip that I've been working on, I'm going to show you a couple other things that I'm going to come back to. I'm working on, in my fun red wine bag from Twisted Daisy Fibers, who doesn't make bags anymore. I have one, this is my Tittygaga pattern, sock pattern. So this was actually my first sample to work up the design while I was waiting for Deborah to dye me up that custom colorway. So I had finished one sock and blocked it. So I figured I needed something to cast on, so I just cast on the second sock. And I was working on this yesterday. I had to go get my driver's license renewed, and I couldn't do it online. I had to get my prison picture taken. You know, the picture that makes you look like you're a convict. I had to get that done yesterday. So I took this with me. I had to wait an hour and 20 minutes. So I have my audiobook on, and I just knit and passed the time. And it was, I mean, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't, I would have rather been somewhere else, but it wasn't as bad as people who were just pacing and getting angry because they were having to wait so long. So I have a hoe and a whip, and these will be for me to wear. When I knit my design socks, I don't wear them. I keep them so I can take nice pictures of samples if I need them, or for shows or whatever. So all of my sock designs in the actual pattern yarn, I don't wear them. They're just stored. And this is for why I had to send some pictures to Faith at Sisterhood. So I took this fun sock wheel picture of all of my designs. So I just grabbed them out of the box that I store them in and took this fun picture. And it just amazes me that this is what I get to do for fun. Okay. As I said, I'm not prepared for this, so I apologize if it's rabbity and rambly. So this is the beautiful yarn. And this is one that Camilla from Cami Jo Knit sent me. It's her merino sock, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon high twist, 365 meters. And the colorway is Mocha Rose. And it's really pretty. It's a nice plump sock yarn, this 80/20 with the high twist. Yeah, so I'm really enjoying knitting this one, and this will be done. It's just a nice on the side burner project. I was wondering why it's so heavy. My earbuds are in there. I'll be looking for those later, so I better leave them out. So that is it for active whips. I pulled a couple of things back out that I'm going to reactivate now that I have a little more time. We're going to talk about some things in design chat, and I'll be able to show you one new thing there and talk about some other things. So this is my Gingersnap by Libby Johnson, Truly Myrtle. you have not seen, I have not picked this up since the last time you saw it, so we're not going to talk about this for very long. But this is a sport DK, well, it's designed for DK yarn. And I have both sleeves done. I just tuck them in while I'm knitting. And I'm just working my way down the body. So I have my fun red wine glasses for my stitch stoppers. So I won't be wearing this until the fall at this point, but I'm so close to being finished. I've probably only got another couple of inches on the body to do before I'm doing the ribbing. So I'll do a couple inches, try it on, see where I'm at, but I could see this being finished next time. The other thing that's in the back of my mind, of course, is we're heading to Knit City, Toronto on May 16th. So that's 3.5 weeks away, I think. Today's the 23rd. So there's a lot kind of stewing in the background for that too. Deborah at Yarn Indulgences is going to need some samples knit, some last minute samples. We've had to pivot and change some of the yarns that are going on the stand for the show. So I'm meeting up with her tonight and I got to see what she needs me to knit. Which is kind of why I haven't been throwing lots of new things on the needles as well. The other thing that's coming out of hibernation and becoming active again, I started this last year. I can't remember when, if it was in full summer or as we were heading into fall. I've got this Holst, oh, that's actually pretty good. This Holst Coast cone. I've already knit one sweater out of it, held with mohair. This, I'm just holding it single. So it's a fine, light fingering lace weight cotton lamb's wool blend from Holst. And I am knitting, I said I haven't looked at this in months. This is Isabel Kramer's Hint of Summer. I believe it's Hint of Summer. Heavily modified. I'm looking for this to be a light piece. You can see how thin it is. Now, to be fair, I haven't blocked this, obviously. When you block this yarn, I don't know if we can see the difference. I don't think you can. But when you block this yarn, it does puff up. But I was looking for something quite light and airy anyway. Let me pull up my project notes on this because, like I said, I haven't picked it up in ages and I was doing a lot of modifications. The main one being, if you were around last summer, I test knit a couple of garments for Anina at Annie UT Knits because I don't like drop shoulder designs until I do. Anina in those designs has very cleverly done some shaping under the arms that makes a drop shoulder garment less like a giant square. It gives you some shape and some movement in the body, which I loved. So I have been adjusting this pattern to be able to use some of those techniques. So I started it August 2nd. So I did start it in the full summer and then realized I wasn't going to finish it in the fall and there was really no point because I wasn't going to be able to wear it. So I hibernated it. So it's on a 3.75 millimeter needle. The colorway is Kingfisher. I adjusted the V-neck to be shallower and I've done some decreases under the arms like the Tankar tee or the Lotus Lake tee that I did last year for Anina. So I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can see that decrease line right there. So this is at the point where it's just simple round and round. I can't remember if I was going to do I can't remember if I was going to do my A-line increases. Those stitch markers tell me that I am, and I already started. So I probably need to put this on a try-on cord and try it on and see where I'm at. But this wouldn't be long. I'm probably going to, I have to decide what I'm doing for sleeves. If I want to make it a shorter sleeve or a 3/4 sleeve. I'm tempted to do a 3/4 length sleeve as a layering piece, because even though this is super lightweight yarn, it's not my idea of a summer wear because it's lamb's wool and it just doesn't feel breezy enough for me. I love the cottons, the silks, the linens when I'm looking at a summer tee, because I do tend to run warm, and I just find something like this is too warm to wear on a hot day. So I think I probably will do some form of a longer sleeve, whether it's to the elbow. I don't know how practical that is, or whether I want to do a 3/4 length and bring it to, you know, a few inches above my wrist. To be decided. But this is going to come back into rotation. I might actually take this to knit night tonight to work on, because I can just go round and round. I said I don't have a lot on the needles right now that I can be working on like that. And that is it for my whips and FOs until we get to design chat. So let's hop over to design chat now and finish up the knit. You've seen I have 3 designs coming out for Knit City Toronto. One is for Yarn Indulgences. We're keeping that one a little secret for just a little bit longer. The Gingersnap yarns with the color work, I've shown you those quite a few times before, and you guys are loving those. Thank you for all of the rainbow love. And I just got the yarn for the 3rd pair of socks a couple of weeks ago, and took me a little bit of time. If you were on Instagram, you will have seen I put a picture up with me holding a handful of yarn barf, because I was ripping and reknitting, trying to find something that made the yarn look its best and was a pattern that I wanted to knit. I had about 5 or 6 failed designs that I charted and kind of got ready to go, and then I worked it up and it looked terrible. So rip, try again, rip, try again, rip, try again. So on the plus side, I do have some charts and stuff tucked away in my back pocket when something else comes up, depending on the yarn, which is great. So let me show you the yarns. I'm not going to show you the design on the sock yet. All of this will be coming in the next, probably the next time I see you will be right before Toronto. Knit City has been in Montreal for 2 years, so I just automatically default to saying Montreal, but it is Toronto this year. So lovely Stephanie at the Creative Knitter, she has a yarn store, but she also dyes yarn and makes bags, a very talented lady. So we've got this stunner with the turquoisey blues, the kind of sandy tan colors. And then this is the contrast color that I chose to go with it. And I will check what the base is. I'm not sure. I didn't get anything. None of them had tags on, so I'll put that on the screen. I'll touch base with Stephanie, and she'll be able to tell me what that is. So I'm just going to show you the back of the sock, because all the magic on this one is happening in the front. But look how beautifully that's knitting up. So heel flap gusset, down the foot to a contrast toe. So we've got a contrast toe, heel flap, and then a couple fun stripes at the top. This is a top down knit. So I'm finished both of the socks. It's in testing. I just direct messaged some of my regular testers who I know can do a quick down and dirty test, because this is a little later than I would have preferred to be doing this. And they have it, and it's in the works and looking great in lots of different yarns. So Stephanie is going to have sock sets in Toronto. And as I said, she sent me a box of yarns. There were 5 altogether. So these were the other 3 that I got. So my plan is to cake all the rest of these up and then do single socks in this combination. And I think I'm going to do one in a solid and use this or the turquoise variegated as the contrast. So my plan is to knit up 2 more socks in this combo and this combo, but with the solid or the tonal as the body color, and this is all the contrast. So I guess I could cake these up and start working on these as well. Once I talk to Deborah tonight and see what she needs from me on samples, then these will be getting wound up as well. And they are all being housed in my beautiful Sadie Topsail canvas bag that I got at the gathering, winter gathering in Sussex. So I need to wind these up. I have promised you a couple of times that I would have this combo swatched in stripes and held together so I could decide what I want to do with it. This is the sweet skein of mine, Mayflowers. I've been pondering whether this wants to be an Elton with it striped or something else with it held together. And it's now end of April, coming to the end of April. This isn't happening until the fall, but I should wind it up and swatch it. Will I? Not sure. We'll have to see what else is going on. My summer yarns are starting to call my name. That's it in my basket for knitting, but I have been able to get back and do a little bit of spinning, which has been a joy. I hadn't done much spinning in quite a while just because it's been so busy around here. I finally, can't remember what episode it was, at least 2 or 3 ago, I had showed you a single gradient spin that I'd been working on. It was a BFL gradient, and I finally got it plied. There have been some complications. I was doing this last night. I decided to chain ply to hold the gradient. So this is what's on this bobbin is the outside of this. The first half of the bobbin, I managed to ply in the wrong direction, which turned it into a squiggly, ropey, ugly mess. So I had to run it back through the wheel and turn it the other direction, basically. So I had to unravel it and then ravel it back in the plying direction. So if you don't know, when you spin in one direction, and when you ply the yarn, you ply it in the opposite direction. And what I did was I plied it in the same direction again. So all I was doing was adding more twist, which is why it turned into pigtails. And I'll put a picture up here. I put a picture on Instagram last night. I was so hacked off with myself for doing that, but I was tired and it had been a long day. But I sorted it out. I took this off and just wound it into a cake and then fixed this part. I feel like it's still a little over. I almost threw this in the garbage. I have to be honest, because I didn't really enjoy spinning the singles. I found it really difficult to get it consistent, and the plying mistake, and then trying to ply it, and there's great big chunks and knobbly bit. It just wasn't my favorite spin. I said I almost threw it away, but I decided to go ahead and fix this, and I'm just going to skein this one back up, put this one into a skein, wash them, set the twist, and throw them in my stash. Whether I'll ever knit with them, I don't know. It's rough. I said we'll see how it feels after it's been washed. So that was last night's not successful go. But what I have been working on is this spin, which you will have seen before as well. I have a bag full of fiber. This was gifted to me a long time ago from Deborah out of her stash. So that's what I'm working on. And I think I have another bag of this as well. So right now I have 2 full bobbins. I'm working on the 3rd on my Nano. I took this with me to Fiddlehead to spin on, and got a little bit of spinning done, but my friend Lucianne had brought her Nano. She didn't have a battery pack yet, so I unplugged my wheel and she plugged hers in, and she got going and got spinning on her wheel, which was fun to see. So yeah, this has been lovely to get back into just that meditative, relaxing. I'm trying to, at 9:30, 10 o'clock, put whatever I'm doing down and just do some spinning for that last little bit before bed, because I do find it just so relaxing, until I ply in the wrong direction and then I get grumpy and then I can't sleep because I'm pissed off with myself. So let me check my notes. So, that's really it for the yarny content. If there's a few bits of administration. So I had a video where I announced the knit along winners, the KSH Cal 2024. I had 8 winners. I've heard from all 8. 4 packages stayed in Canada, 3 went to the US, and I have the last one going to Australia tomorrow. So I've heard from all of the winners. Congratulations and thanks for reaching out. And I'll definitely be doing this again, but I don't know when. Maybe it'll be a yearly thing on my birthday, my design birthday. So maybe next February we'll do it again. One last little thing about admin. If you didn't watch the mini-sode or you haven't seen me on Instagram, the Tittygaga sock pattern was amazing and overwhelming. We started, I can't remember what day we started it. April 5th, I put Tittygaga up for sale, and I also included the Tits Up sock from last year's breast cancer research fundraiser. I included that in this year's as well. So I was raising money for the breast cancer research through the Canadian Cancer Society, and we were able to make a massive donation. If you haven't seen, so I posted the numbers 4,100. That included my pattern amounts for both Tits Up and Tittygaga. It included the yarn amount that Deborah raised by selling the Tittygaga yarn. She donated $10 from each skein. It included $100 from Sadie at Top Sale Canvas. She sold little pretty pink pouches I showed in my mini-sode, the last one. It also included a very generous donation from Heidi and Robin, who are the organizers of Fiddlehead Fiber Festival. Sophie from Cozy Meadow Knits bought a few patterns to be able to use as giveaways for her podcast. And there was a yarn winding station at Fiddlehead as well, and there was a donation from that amount. So the grand total from all of that was $4,100. And then my friend Jeanette Walker Jewelry, who makes these lovely stitch marker necklaces and lots of other beautiful jewelry on Prince Edward Island, she sent me a $100 donation. And then Deborah at Yarn Indulgences decided to bump her donation by another $150. So the actual total worked out to be $4,350. So that has been done, and thank you so much for everybody who bought the pattern, shared the pattern, reached out to me and told me your stories. I was touched. I wanted to send out a big thank you to Kelly and Noelle from the Knit Chat Cafe. If you watch their podcast or if you've seen their podcast, they invited me to come and visit the cafe, not last Tuesday, the Tuesday before. I can't remember what date that was. Was that the 6th, the 7th? Dates. So early in April, I was on their podcast and was able to talk about the socks, specifically the fundraiser, how I got into socks, and just all things socks. It was lovely. I had so much fun. Usually I'm just here talking to my camera and imagining you all out there knitting along while I'm chatting and drinking wine, and but to be a part of something interactive was very, very fun for me. And if you found me from Kelly and Noelle and you're watching now, welcome. I've had a whole bunch of new subscribers from different places, but I think quite a few people came over from Kelly and Noelle, which is great. I can't wait to I get to meet Kelly in person. I met Noelle last year. She came down to the East Coast. I haven't met Kelly yet in person, so we get to meet in Toronto at Knit City, which will be fun. So yeah, the rest of this is just going to be chit chat. There may be some knitting content, there may not, but a lot has been going on in my world, and it'll kind of explain why my output, my knitting amount that is normally pretty good, has not been. Tittygaga was an amazing response, but that takes time to do the Instagram marketing, to reply to the comments, to chat with people. And I love it, but it does take time away. It's more screen time and less time on the knitting to keep all that organized and give it the attention it deserved. So that week, and then we went into Fiddlehead, and I was teaching that class. And like I said, prepping for that took me longer than expected. It went well, I think. I've sent a survey to my class attendees, and so far it's been nice. I told them to be brutally honest. I feel like I talked pretty quickly, as you know I am wont to do. At least on YouTube, you can slow me down if you need to. I felt a bit just with the nerves. I feel like I was rolling pretty quickly. So that's a note for myself when I do this in the fall again, that I need to slow down. Last time I was here, we had lovely Archie, my grand dog, staying with us. So he got to go home. We had to clean our house because it was full of dog. And then we proceeded to have 3 dogs in the following week. So my son and his partner brought their dog for Eclipse Day, just for the day, but still paws and fur and in and out of the house. And then later that night, my husband's best friend showed up from Halifax with his dog, and they were here for a few days. So more dog hair and paw prints everywhere. And then the weekend I was at Fiddlehead, he went home on the Thursday. I went to Fiddlehead Friday. Sam and Archie came back on Saturday while I was gone because she had something to do here in Moncton. She texted me, "Is my Airbnb available for the weekend?" I'm like, "Talk to your father, I'm not here." Not my department this weekend. So, yeah, so after Archie left, actually, no, it wasn't. It was that weekend. So Easter weekend, we had Good Friday off. I think that was the last time I was here. I recorded on Good Friday. Yeah, because Archie was still here. I recorded on Good Friday, and we went to work on Saturday morning and pulled into our business and instantly realized that something was wrong. We had a couple of guys at the back of our store, and they had destroyed our heat pump units. So we have electric mini split or heat pump units in the back of the store. We have 4 of them. They destroyed 3. They turned off the power and cut open the machinery and absolutely destroyed everything to get to the copper coil to be able to sell them. So that day was beyond dealing with my regular job, which is my customers. I was also dealing with the police and starting the insurance process, which was a little more complicated than I'd expected it to be, but they have come back with full coverage for the claim that we've placed. So yeah, we have a $20,000 job happening at the store today that is being covered primarily by insurance, and they've caused that amount of damage for about $100 worth of copper. So we had some video footage of them, but they hid their faces on the cameras. We're now in the process of trying to decide how we're going to protect these brand new units that are costing, the insurance a lot of money. And yeah, this is the world we live in, unfortunately. We can't have nice things without other people trying to ruin them. Yeah. So this is where Brad is today. Our contractor is there. They were there all day yesterday and all day today, and quite possibly a little bit tomorrow, to be running the new copper lines and install the new equipment and all the other things that work around that. And the store is also open, so I'm staying out of the way because they don't need me in there as well. Causing problems. So that was really disheartening and very stressful. And the fear now is, how do we stop them from damaging these brand new units? So, we've got security cameras, we've got, motion sensor lights. And so fundamentally I've reached out to our alarm monitoring company to see if they can set up some kind of sensor. Brad is going to weld together a metal cage of some sort to put around these units to protect them. But, you know, there's nothing really still that can stop them. So we're going to have to get some kind of sensor, motion sensor on their vibration sensor that they try to cut through or break through the metal. Yeah. So that's been real life. And again, I feel like my creative juices have been a little bit struggling with that, with the stress of it. For a while, we didn't know what the insurance was going to cover, and that was worrying as well. But yeah, we were supposed to be, it's my birthday tomorrow. As I said, it's my birthday eve. It's my actual birthday tomorrow. And we were supposed to be going to Halifax to spend a couple of days just away in a hotel and go to some nice restaurants for dinner. And that got put on hold, obviously, with everything going on because Brad needs to be at the store for all of this work that's happening. He is, and even if that wasn't happening, he is so sick. I don't know where he got it. We think he got it from Sam. They spent the Saturday night, I was at Fiddlehead. They spent Saturday night together, had a grand old chat and enjoyed wine and pizza. And I got home on the Sunday and I gave her a big hug and she proceeded to sneeze and snot everywhere. And I'm like, are you sick? She says, no, I think it's allergies. She texted me the next day, I don't think it's allergies, Mom. I'm like, yeah, no kidding. Ugh. So I got a bit snuffly, but I'm okay. Brad he's in full flu. I don't know if it's just man flu or flu. He's really, really not well and hasn't been for the last few days. So he is being a trooper and taking as many decongestants and, you know, analgesics as his system can manage to get him through this. But I'm kind of bummed out because we were supposed to be in Halifax and having fun and, you know, yeah, which didn't happen. So my birthday this year feels a bit wah-wah. But I work tomorrow. I'm just doing a half day at work tomorrow. And then I'm going to come home and I'm going to watch Hamilton on Disney Plus and quite possibly The Greatest Showman. I'll see how much musicals I can get in one afternoon. I thought about going out to supper, but I've decided that what I want for my birthday dinner is fresh baguettes, some pate, some cheeses, some chutneys, So we're just going to have cheese and bread basically with some pate and with wine and that's what we're going to do tomorrow night. A, it's what I want, and B, it's easy. Nobody's got to cook anything because, as I said, Brad is not well and he's going to have to do another big stretch at work tomorrow. So I'm off to knit night tonight, so that'll be nice. I get to see my knit friends and hang out and just chit chat. So that'll be fun. My plan is to take you and see. I tend to get there and then completely get weird about filming people. So we'll see how I do tonight. You might see a little bit from knit night later on. You will have seen at the beginning some signs of life in my garden. The snow is all gone. Things are greening up. I haven't cleaned out my flower beds yet, but my bulbs have poked through and we had a minor flash of crocus, but they're gone already. And the daffodils have broken open and they're starting to flower. I'm just looking at my notes. Oh, yeah. So upcoming plans, I've got more socks to knit. I'm going to keep working on those garments. I need to do some swatching in some of my linens, my summer yarns to see what I want to get on the needles next that way. And start getting ready for Knit City. Yeah. I'm very excited. I don't know if I told you this or not. We fly in on the Thursday morning. We're going through Ottawa. So we're going Moncton to Ottawa and then Ottawa to Toronto with Porter because they go right into the city airport in Toronto, right downtown. And the Weston is less than 2 kilometers away. So we're flying right in there. And that night, Thursday night, I'm going to see Les Miserables at the Princess of Wales Theatre, I think, in Toronto. It's walking distance from the hotel. I'm going on my own, and that is just fine. Les Mis is one of my favorite musicals. It was very, very key. Oh, beautiful blue jay out there. Sorry. I discovered Les Mis at a very seminal point in my late teens, early 20s. when music just kind of brings all the feels. And I was dating Brad. He went away to war to the Persian Gulf Round 1 in 1990, 1991. And bring him home makes me weep every time. Deborah from Your Heart Indulgence says, "Oh, I'll come with you." I said, and she's not a musical fan. I said, "Really, you don't need to. I'm quite happy to go on my own." She said, "Well, no, man." And I'm like, I'm going to be bawling and snotting almost the whole time. So you don't want to go with me. I already feel bad for the people who are sitting beside me. I am also hoping to get to Hadestown. I don't have tickets bought for that yet. There's a matinee on the Thursday afternoon. I'm not sure if I'm quite going to have enough time to get to that one. There's also a show on the Sunday night. So I have nowhere to stay yet on the Sunday night. And I had planned going back to Kitchener to spend some time with my brother and his family. So I'm not sure how that's going to work yet, but we're just rolling with it. If you are anywhere, I said, I will be back. I was about to do all my, if you're coming to Knit City, but I will see you before Knit City. We're under an hour. We're sub an hour. That goes to show you how little knitting I have to show you. And I almost didn't record this week, but thought I'd better come in and touch base. And again, it's to make me feel better. I wanted to hang out with you guys to make me feel better. So I am going to enjoy my last sip of wine and sit and knit for a little bit before, what time is it? I can't see the clock. It's just after lunch. I got to have a little bit of lunch. So I'm going to enjoy a couple of hours this afternoon. I might even find something I want to watch this afternoon because Brad's at work and it's very quiet here. I've done a token bit of house cleaning today. I vacuumed. I have to empty the dishwasher, but then that's it. I'm calling it. It's just us. It's not a big deal. But I'm just closing the door of my craft room because it's a tip. All right. I keep looking at my notes to make sure I haven't missed anything. And if I have, oh well, I'll wrap it up with you next time. Thanks for keeping me company. I appreciate you all for being here. If you're new, welcome. If you've been here for a while, this is about the level of rambliness that you expect from me. And I hope you are keeping well and enjoying your craft wherever it's taking you right now. Happy knitting, happy sipping, and I will see you in 3 weeks or so before I head to Toronto. Cheers, my friends. Oh my goodness, I completely forgot something. So Fiddlehead Fiber Festival, there's a mini-sode. I will have linked it already and I'll do it, or if I haven't, I'll do it here. But I forgot to show you my little friend, my new friend. I did show this on the mini-sode, so if you have seen it already, I was doing a name call for this lovely mouse and I got some amazing suggestions. Some very clever suggestions. I think I'm going to be quite boring. I think she's going to be Rosie for my love of rosé. Even though she's drinking red wine, I think she's going to be Rosie. She's got wire in her tail, so I can adjust her tail to make her stand up a little bit better. So this is from Michelle's Creations, a very talented maker here, close to Florence Hill, Bristol. So yeah, she was keeping us company here, and I mentioned her earlier in the podcast, and I forgot to show her off. So, meet. I don't want to commit to it yet. I think she's Rosie. But she's going to be hanging out with us wherever we are from here on out. Because she is perfect. All right, I'm really going now.